Okay, everybody, this is fun. I'm really excited about this because, when you're doing these videos and you're just doing them by yourself, it's like you're talking to invisible people, even though I try to imagine you there. But this is really cool because this is stuff that you guys have actually sent over. So I'm really excited about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how literally ADD I could be. I'm going to read you a couple of these, and then I'm going to basically talk about 3 subjects at the same time. Okay? One of the things that when I was a kid, and I used to go for my lessons with Eddie Rayberg, I never looked at his face. I always looked at his hand. So this is kind of like a neat little flashback where, I'll be talking to you, and then you'll be looking at me drawing at the same time. So we'll get into the animation stuff a little later. It says right here, where can we take some good animation classes that's not in California? Real fast. I can cover this really quick. It really doesn't matter. The reason why California is kind of cool in this area is because the studios are here, and you've got a lot of people that work in the business and they go teach, around town. So you get that really, right to the point, ground zero type education. But all you need is a school that's really well equipped, that's excited about teaching it. Number one, they have to be excited and really into it. And then you need a teacher who's been connected, either somebody who has done it or somebody who is excited enough to reach out to the people who are doing it, okay? The one thing about animation is that the people in it, they're really nice. I mean, they're really nice people. And if you've got a school somewhere out there in another part of the world like Kansas, because if you're in it's basically LA and New York, right? LA's here, New York's over here. Everything in the middle is Kansas, okay? That's it. That's right. And if you're in Kansas, you work or hang out at the Dairy Queen, and everybody hates me for that. But I'm from LA, and I've never been to Kansas, so what do I know? Let's say you're in Kansas, and you got a teacher, and they're real excited about it, and they call DreamWorks, or they call a studio, and they say, hey, we got this great animation department. Can we, talk to you guys? I mean, everybody's really nice. So it doesn't necessarily have to be in LA, okay? So how's that for your answer? You just got to love it. Most of the information's on the internet anyways. But again, you need to get those really great critiques, and those critiques have to come from somebody who's done it. It can't be theory. It has to be reality. All right, here's the big question right here. Hi, Sheldon. I was wondering what your thoughts on a good routine for learning figure drawing. So that's what we're going to do. As in, do you redraw your gestures until they are decent, then move on, or is it better to push on through to the final drawing and keep repeating the process? I find it's very hard to stay motivated when doing the same thing over and over. But if I try to go to the final too quick, then the end result's not good. Well, let me ask you a question. If you go to a doctor and the doctor is going to perform surgery on you, don't you want him to do the same thing over and over again? Wouldn't it be kind of sucky if the doctor said, well, I get tired of sewing, I like to cut, but I'm really getting tired of this sewing thing. So what do you say we just cut and we'll leave the sewing for another day? You're going to go, no way. So the routine is everything, you guys. Of course it is. Let's just find different ways to do it, okay? So in this case, I can't show you the model because she's naked. But, this is that pen you requested. This is the $500 pen, which I saw for... would somebody send me an email, let me know how much this pen cost? It's a Cartier. I got it for $400 in the Caribbean 10 bazillion years ago. And it's a good pen. It's not the best. I mean, there's cheaper pens out there that are good. But, if your wife says you want to buy a pen, you'd be stupid to say no. Guys, if your wife says, I'm going to buy a pen, say yes, okay? All right, so that's a gesture, right? That's it. We've got an arm up in the air, right? There you go. Excuse me. The head's going forward. Rib cage is going that way. That's all you need to know. Pelvis is going this way. She's got her leg back. She's pushing forward. We'll calcite cool that. And then we'll go this way. for that leg. Now we get some emails. They're really cute. I really like them. You know, mostly comments. Wow, this is not an instructional video. He's advertising. No, it is an instructional video that's on YouTube. They're just parts of it. He's just trying to sell us his stuff. Yeah, of course. You know, when I go to the gas station now in LA, they charge me they charge like crazy. Okay, so this arm is going back, so just go like that. That's it. See? So of course they're for sale. But we really sat down and negotiated, try to come up with the cheapest absolute price that we can do. So $19 is the cheapest we could do. And when we're starting to see other prices out there, they're like $60, $70. And we felt pretty good on that. All right, this is the rib cage. But of course, we have, you know, rent, just like you guys. Okay. But I don't think anybody who's ever emailed us a question, emailed, not put it on YouTube, but emailed, who hasn't gotten an answer back. So, even though it's crazy. So we got to put the face up here, you know, and it's going back. So we go like that, see? And then we have the pelvis. And what you do is you flesh out from that gesture. And I think that's the big question in this, is what do we do? Do we get the gesture right and then put the other drawing on top? And the answer to that's no. In education it is. In education, when you're doing education, you have to show this is gesture, this is shape, this is structure. But when you're doing it, you know, in real life, you build out. So you say, okay, this rib cage is going this way because she's going back. And you build out. See how that works? Okay. And then here, can you guys see that okay? Yeah, it's pretty close. I'm going to actually zoom in. Here we go. Hold on to your seats. Here we go. Zoom. Okay. And then we come this way. And then this is going to fit in. So there's a shape and then form. See that? Boom. And then we can come from here. We can feel that navel. So what you're doing is drawing is an additive thing. It's a building up process. Okay, now this leg is going, let's make it go back. So it's going to go back like that. And that's all I need. So basically when we're doing the drawing, it's this is going back. See? And this is coming towards. Now the other thing is Corey requested that these answer videos to be complete total lessons. Okay? So we're going to cover every little detail. They are covered in those other videos, but we just, you know, want you to buy the video. You know? Okay, that's a whole course. There we go, when you get the videos. And of course the online course is absolute course. Okay, so this is going back this way, and then we leave the area open. Leave all the joint areas open, okay, because you just want to Cal Stay Cool those closed. If you don't know what Cal Stay Cool is and all that, you know, it's this. That's in the videos, okay? And then this is going back. They're very thorough. You know, I don't watch them a lot, but I do, you know, read the comments from people. And now that we're doing online school, you know, I'm going back into it. And we're very thorough in our fundamentals. Okay, here's the butt right there, okay? If you don't know where your butt is, I don't know, lean against something hot. I had a model once who wouldn't turn around. It was so funny. She only showed the front. Finally, I go, what are you doing? And then she turned around, and she had bent down in her bathroom, and she had one of those space heaters, you know, on the wall that had a grid, those metal like grids, and she bent and she singed her butt. So on her butt, she had a tic-tac-toe. So I walked up and said, okay, I'll be X. Who wants to be O? She didn't think I was too funny, but I thought it was hilarious. All right, this is coming towards, and it goes this way. But there's two cheeks. See, two cheeks are better than one. Two cheeks do get the job done. So if we have a cheek on this side, go in there and feel the butt cheek on the other side, you know? So you know where it's coming from. And that's where the drawing gets really kind of fun, because you get all these lines. And then this is going back. We'll make this one come towards. See, so we've got that, and then we can go ahead and show this side here. And then we'll give her a breast, and we'll give her some hair, and there you go. This arm's going back. See? And there's your drawing. Let me show you some more. All right, let's do some more. Let's see. This is a cool one. Do you need to go to college or university to get a good art career? No. But do it. Get the degree, because I got in the business young, and I basically would not be teaching you if I would have continued and got my degree. And but I teach at universities, so it's really weird. But I have the knowledge from these guys that taught me when I was really young. So they're not around anymore. And they were amazing. I mean, these guys were gods. So I don't know. All of my students have to get their degrees. Okay, so I would say sweat it out, because the industry's changed, everybody. They don't have the big training programs, and you don't have the 30-year career with retirement. It's not as locked in as it used to be in the olden days. So you are going to be floating around. So get the degree. I'm getting some pressure right now from a couple of mentors in forensics to do it. And but I'm also very busy. Our career right now is exploding, so I'm very happy. Let's see. Medical illustration, we'll get back to this one. There's a lot about that. Okay. Hello, Sheldon, sir. Well, excuse me. I am currently studying art through your books and videos. Cool. And I am at the beginning just before gesture and according to the boot camp. And I liked your study material, teaching style, etc. Thank you. Very well. And I'm getting also great progress in art skills. Now, as for general knowledge, I want to know what's your course duration only in drawing. Complete drawing package means in average. How much time to learn the drawing a student? Right. I know every student have a different journey, but still asking. All right. You never learn how to draw. Okay? You never learn how to draw. It's an ongoing life thing, and you will die without fully understanding to draw. But your question is, how long does it take before I really start seeing progress? 6 months. How long until I can consider myself to be a proficient draftsman studying every day? 2 years. All right? How's that for absolute? I want to get to this one, and then I'm going to draw while I talk to you about it. Hi, Sheldon. Hi. I've got a question which is not about any technique in terms of actual art creation. I'm wondering if you have any advice on how to stay motivated as a beginner artist. This is it. I personally don't see any great progress in my work, and I guess that a lot of people have that. My work totally sucks. So does mine. Okay. Moments. Any encouraging words on how to keep going and stay focused? Heck yeah. I just went over this with my college students on Monday. I got the greatest new class, you guys. Oh my God, they're amazing. I got a freshman class that if I scripted them, I couldn't get them as good. Okay, let's do a lay-in here, and then I'm going to explain it to you. The head is that way. See it? And that's it. That's the gesture. There's the neck, shoulder, and then we want to break rib cage and pelvis separate. See that? Boom. I'm really liking this because this is fun. One of the things as a teacher, teaching as many hours a week as I do, which, pilots are only allowed to fly so many hours a week, and you really should only be teaching so many hours a week. And I'm teaching 6 days a week, and that's a lot of teaching. But you walk into the classroom, you look at those kids, and you melt. And that's the thing for me. I am absolutely melt by these students. I love them, and I love the kids. I like these kids, and I think somebody needs to be there for these kids. I think somebody needs to be there to listen to them and defend them, and to listen and to take their side. I always take their side. I don't care. I don't care what you did. I'm taking your side. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad. I'm taking their side. Sorry, university. Sorry, teacher. I'm taking their side. Why? 'Cause somebody has to. We'll work it out. Don't worry about it. Okay? All right, there's your lay-in. Now, how do you do it? How do you stay motivated? Because this stuff really hurts. All right, here's what I told the students on Monday, which are my precious new freshmen. Number one, you're going to have to do a million billion bad drawings. Okay, that's the key. Now here I'm looking for very distinct shapes. This is a shape for the head. So welcome to the ADD Sheldon, 5 subjects at one time. So you want to do a lot of really bad drawings. That's the first thing. Don't be afraid. A lot of times, you know, I walk into schools and I'm looking at their work. And I'm like, I thought you had beginners here. Oh yeah, you know, it's first year. And they're doing full-blown projects. Full projects, you guys. No. Study, learn. You know? Get in artistic shape. You know? In sports, don't you guys do shape stuff? Okay, now here's the pit of the neck. So there's the face. Leave it loose because we're going to have to come back later on and make sure we get our proportions right. And if proportions are off, change the size of the head. And as we go back and change our subjects. So do just a ton of bad drawings. And then what's going to happen is one day you're going to make a mistake and you're going to do a good drawing. Okay? That's after about a million. And you know, you got to do a million billion. So after about a million drawings, you're going to make a mistake. And here I'm looking for that shape of the rib cage. You see that? And then we're looking, I'm going to make her, and the picture we're looking down on her slightly, so I'll go like that. And that just determined that we're looking down on the model. That one line right there told everything. So if you put this line here and you do it wrong, you're screwed. As Tweety Bird says, you're screwed. Or maybe that was Sylvester, who knows. But you're screwed if you get this line wrong. So you want to get this thing really wrapping around and showing that we're looking down. Okay, so then one day you make, you guys are going to say this guy's crazy. One day you make a mistake and you look at your drawing and you go, whoa, that's like a good drawing. And people are going to walk up and go, hey man, hey dude, what? That's like really a good drawing. How'd you do that? And you're going to go, I don't know. And then it's going to be like, oh my God, how did I do that? And this is my theory of going to a concert. You know, you go to a concert and the line to get in the bathroom is like 1.5 miles long. Well, ladies, you can't do this. But as a guy, you know, I don't drink and I don't do drugs. But it seems like everybody there, you know, they have this need that they have to, okay? Here's the box shape right there, real important. You know, they have to be drunk. So everybody in this line, they're all drunk. So why not just pee in the guy's pocket in front of you, you know? You pee in this pocket and you leave. He doesn't know he's drunk. And then he's going to spend the rest of the night going, hey, dude, what? I think I just peed in my back pocket. You can't do that. I know, dude. But I do it. And he's going to spend all this time trying to figure it out. And when he's trying to figure it out, I'm back enjoying the concert. You see how it works? So that's theory. You're going to spend so much time trying to figure out how you redid that drawing, how you did that drawing so good. And it's going to take you right back to zero. So you're going to work your butt off. Okay, so you see I got this nice long torso. Boom. You're going to work your butt off to get to the point where you're doing that first decent drawing, and then because somebody peed in your back pocket, you're going to go, oh, dude, I don't know how I did it, man. And then your roommate's going to come in and go, hey, dude, you finally did it, man. You finally did a good drawing. How'd you do it? And you're like, oh, no. And I suck, and I'm right back to zero, you know? And this leg's coming towards me too, and then it's going back. And then you're going to have to start over. And then eventually what's going to happen is as you go back and draw again, as you hit those successes, you're going to start really file them away in that computer of yours. And then you're going to own it. So it's a long journey, and that's why people don't stick with it. Now, once you get to that next really good drawing, you are going to get a high that you have never experienced before. You're literally going to float. And it is really, really exciting. And I'm going to tell you, the high is so good that you would actually invest months of pain of learning new stuff to get that high of understanding, you know, that rush of, oh my God, that was really great. I learned that, you see. And that's why really real artists, the real artists are not doing a lot of drugs. The real artists are not drinking a lot. Those are not the real artists. The real artists are so busy studying and so busy excited, and that's why my students are not into those. And if they are, I'll kill them. So no alcohol, no drugs, just study and get that rush of success, and then more study, and then another rush, and you'll have just the greatest time in the world. Okay, does that help you out? Alright, so let's see what we got going here. So see how that works? It's kind of a fun drawing. Let's see if we have another question while we do this drawing. Okay, let's see. I'd love some instructions on the core fundamentals of animation. We'll do that in another video, but I can get into a little bit of that. Sometimes there's a lot of movement. I think that's, life, animation is settling I got to teach you. Get into clean lines. Let's do the medical career. There are certain schools that have medical careers, okay? If you're going to be certified, I don't know, because I'm doing medical stuff, and I just teach anatomy and they like it. So that's one of the things. I guess if you really want, if you don't have that luxury of study, then it's probably a good idea to go to school. I had some kids in my class one year who were going to study medical illustration. They found out about my class, and then they came in and studied with me for 2 semesters, and then they moved on to a school that had a medical department. Okay, you really do need to know a lot about the anatomy, but there is some loopholes here. Most of your doctors today, they've been through medical school, but they specialize. And what happens is my phone. What happens is they specialize in certain areas. So, whereas they know all their anatomy, they're not specialists in it as much as they are in particular areas, like the hand or the spine or the maxillofacial or whatever. So even though you go to school, that doesn't mean you're going to learn everything at that school about that anatomy. Okay, process, just good solid illustration, the ability to research, to understand your research. In the courtroom, yeah, you're going to have to be seen as an expert witness. That's going to come from years of experience. So I would say that the degree would be good. One of my students, that we did a report on that the other day, and there's only a few schools in the country that really have those medical illustration majors. But you better make sure that you can draw well, because it's really frustrating. I get all these books and look at the illustrations and go, oh my God, who drew that? Okay, so make sure you're really clean. Does it have to be accurate? I make mine accurate. I have medical books, and I really look at everything. I Google everything. I look up everything. So, yeah, I make sure mine are very accurate. But also, I have an absolute love for anatomy. So, to answer your question again, I want to pursue a medical career. I've never feel smart enough. I don't know if I'm really smart. I just love anatomy, and I don't mind asking. I'm not afraid to ask questions. I was at the wedding the other day, and there was all these doctors there, and I was asking them questions about my cases, trying to get information. They don't know about the case, of course. They have no clue, but, hey, if this happened, would that happen? That kind of stuff. But then for the final, we have to get, a doctor who comes in as a professional, expert witness. I've heard that you have digital savvy in that career path. Yes, and I am more traditional than digital. I have practiced with digital a lot, but I'm really bad at it. How can I surpass my insecurities? Get good at it. I am. I spent the whole morning, watching videos. There's so many different online schools that offer video courses on the different programs. You need to be good at Photoshop. That's pretty much it. If you're going to do animation, then of course Maya and 3D Max, poser. But you know, in my business, we have a guy who does the animation. I do the illustrations, which is pretty cool. He's really good. Okay, so that's that drawing, and that's your process. Notice in the drawing, though, as I'm jumping all over the place, proving to you guys what ADD really is. Notice how the drawing is building up. It's not 3 or 4 separate drawings. It's just building up your drawing, okay? And that's the cool thing. You build up. Let's do some more. All right, let's get some of these small ones out of the way. Hi, Shell. Hi. How do you avoid making pen and ink drawings look hairy? I love to see some pen demonstrations, even with a $500 fountain pen. I think it's now like $1,400, but could I afford it today? No. What should I do? Sell it and buy a car? I don't know. That was during Space Jam. Just draw. Don't draw like this. You know, just very lightly go over the drawings. You know, if you don't want it, if it's hairy, it's like that. You know, that's hairy. If you don't want to, as I waste a beautiful piece of animation paper. If you want to do it, what I like to do is I pretend like I'm staining the paper. First of all, draw with your hand this way. This is where you get to use your wrist. If you go like this, it compresses your hand. It makes it, you know, kind of, hard. Go this way, and pretend like you're staining the paper with a wood stain. Okay, very carefully, like that. And that's cleanup. Don't be afraid to turn the paper either. You know, so if we go, I use a pen. You know, so we got that, something like that. You know, you come in this way. You guys see it? And build it up very carefully. So this is a lot of practice. But I used to do this for a living, so it took years. Somebody out there's going, years just to do a line? Dude, you suck. You suck, man. I can do a line. Okay, here's what you're going to do. Go online and print out a model sheet. See, now I'm going in. So if there's an animation studio, I'd go this way. So I'd turn it and get that nice angle like this. Print out a model sheet. I just want you to trace it. This is what we used to do in the studio when people were all hot stuff. And then we'd look at it and we'd say, hey, I thought we asked you to trace it. Well, I did. Well, why isn't the lines, you know, why aren't your cross contours matching up? You know, why don't we get everything working? You know, we just like get them on the structure stage and everything. Oh man, they crawl out of the office and then they'd be people you can work with. Ego kills studios. Okay, here we go. But all good artists have them. See that? We just build it up, okay? So, you know, people say you do it in one line. No, you don't. I mean, some people, you know, we used to have what we used to call in studio speed line people. And they would put down like, you know, lines like that. But they weren't doing, I don't know if they were doing the A characters or not. What do I know? But you know, I used to get in there and just really sculpt. Pretend like this is a sculpting tool. Get in there and really feel the form, you know, like that. Don't be afraid to take an eraser. Go there and knock off a couple pieces too. Okay, here's a new figure here. Let's do that. Question we can really get into. Okay, something that adds a lot of movement. This is an animation question. And life to end animation is a settle. You're right. Okay, settling is really important. However, I found it quite difficult to get the timing and spacing right for it. It would be amazing if you could discuss some of the fundamentals of settling in animation, and maybe demo moving cloth. We'll do that another day on a person. Oh, we can do that. Animate your person animate them naked first, and you can do that pose to pose. You can do that thumbnail, no matter what you want. But animate the entire person naked. Then go back and put in your clothes straight ahead. Okay, and if you don't know what that means, look it up, Google it. But you really need to make sure that you have your poses really pretty So do pose to pose and finish the whole character naked, just in mannequin form. Then when you do your drapery, do that straight ahead. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what happens is you can see how it, it flows to your primary action, which is your character without the clothes on. Okay, that will help you. The flag wave. Boy, we're really getting through a lot. When you're doing the flag wave, what you want to think about with the flag is that when most people, they see the flag and they think of it as two lines, right? All right, so you've got this, this flag, and you got this bump coming through the flag. It's air. So I want you to think of, here's your drapery. Can you guys see this okay? Here's your drapery, right? Take the air as a ball and move that ball of air through the drapery. And that way you'll actually have a ball of drapery, a ball of air moving through. So we'll have it like this, and then this will come up, So now the ball comes up, so now the ball has just moved past this, right? So now the ball's here. See? So here the ball's moved already on. So now that comes down the other side of this ball right there. See, there's the ball of air moving through. See? Then the ball continues, so now that ball is here. And then this comes down off the end of that ball. See? And then this comes down this way and continues. And then that ball is here. So now this has the ball with the air, and then it comes down. And that's when you get this reverse thing happening like that. Is that cool? It's really fun. So think of it as, here's my drapery right here, and my air is this solid ball, and it moves its way through the drapery like that. You see how it's moving through it, okay? So that will help you on there. Let's get into settles while I do this drawing, and then give us some feedback, okay? Because Corey's working really hard, and so am I. So I want to know if we're doing this right, if you're happy with this. And I'm going to get some white chalk. So now we have a model going back in space, and we'll do it like this. All right. All right, so we have the head over here. She's going this way. Now this lay-in has to be more of a shape lay-in. It's going to be very light in the beginning because I'm going to be putting the white chalk down, and the white chalk doesn't like the waxy pencil. So we just want to kind of go with arrows. All right, the animation settle. Here we go. Everybody take a breath. Go. You got that? That's 24 frames. That's a second. That's a good way of judging. Okay, now 5 frames would be a glimpse. Okay, and 15 frames is a pause. So we go 5 is a glimpse. I think I know what it was. Wasn't sure. 15 is a pause where you can actually identify what you're looking at. And then 24 is a second. So when you're settling, you want to be thinking, like, I want the audience to see this, right? Well, if you want them to see it, maybe that's 15. So it settles in 15, it comes out. If it's really settling and you can really see it, then that's 24. If it's settled where you can barely see it, well, then that's 5 frames. The reason why it's 24 frames is that's how long it takes for the film to move through the camera, in the olden days, everything to me is the olden days, and have sound speed. Okay, so I'm sure somebody will tell me I'm wrong on that, but that's the way I was taught. Now, settling. When you settle, if this is your key here, right? So this is your first key, and that's your second key. Go past the key. Your in-betweens will take you past your key, and then come back. So settling means this is my first one, anticipation. The key is here. It's the reaction is your settle. It's the anticipation reaction. So it's Newton's law. So every action has an equal and opposite reaction, and everything in motion stays in motion till acted upon by an outside force. This outside force is going to be basically just the end of the action. So we go this way. That's my key. Go past in a circle. So it goes in a circle, and that circle is your cushion. And even when an animator didn't ask for it, I used to cushion their animation. And it looked full, looked really good, so it was fun. They're going to go, that's what you did, Sheldon. You cushioned my animation, and I didn't ask for it. Yeah, well, I was the assistant, so it was my job. Okay, so we got this breast here. Really shows me the plane coming down. See that? Real important. Now I can start keying going this way. We had another question that was pretty cool. And Corey, we didn't think we were going to get through all the questions, but we're getting through a lot of them. Painting, flesh tones, yes. I would love something on rendering flesh tones in color. I know that color isn't supposed to matter if my values are correct, but but if the color's wrong, you know. But I am able to render in grayscale, good, without problems. The issue only arises when I use color. I know it has to do with the hue, warms, and cools, and levels of chroma I'm using. You're right. But I haven't been able to put it together. I've never found a definite formula for rendering flesh, and it's very frustrating to try and just especially from imagination. Okay, here we go. I guess this is your color palette. Yellow ochre, cad red, and flake white, titanium or Chinese white, whatever. Not sure if this was what you were asking, but that makes a kind of generic flesh tone color. Try only using umber, burnt sienna, yellow ochre, flake white. Is this somebody answering? Glazes for your flesh of portrait. Once you finish the portrait like that, I'm expanding. Try your next portrait. Maybe that was me answering. Okay, here we go. A good flesh tone. First of all, there's no such thing as flesh tone. Everybody's different. If you're going to do my flesh tone, it's this white right there. See how white that is? That's me, okay? I am the whitest thing on the planet. I take off my shirt, satellites get destroyed. If I'm on a cruise ship, I take off my shirt, the cruise goes the wrong direction, the captain has to tell me to put my shirt back on. If I go to the beach, I usually get phone calls from NASA saying, Sheldon, put your shirt back on. So I am very white, but some people out there aren't. My kids and my wife, they tan really well. I don't. So there's no such thing as an absolute flesh tone. A good place to start, because students want formulas, and I do too as a student. So here's your formula. Burnt sienna. Okay. This is for the warms. Burnt sienna. A yellow ochre or Naples yellow would be good. Naples yellow can get a little ghosty, so be careful. There's like a white in it. So you want to be careful with Naples yellow, but it's kind of cool. It's kind of fun. Cool meaning fun, not meaning temperature. So we got burnt sienna, yellow ochre, or yellow, Naples yellow, and white. And that's pretty good. I mean, that's a pretty good, kind of get you in the ballpark flesh, even though it never exists. For the cool, add some burnt umber or a little cerulean blue, and that will cool it. You can add a little green, just a nice little evergreen, whatever. I love olive green, so I usually add that. It really makes it fun. And the warms will come towards you, but the warms also is a part of the body that's getting more blood. So, across the cheeks is going to be warmer, but your, forehead's going to be cooler. Around the chin, if it's a male, it's definitely going to be cooler. Okay, you see how I'm using the anatomy to get the rhythms? And I'm building out of this lay-in. See that, you guys? Okay. So, like usually across the chest, I might cool it down a little bit, then maybe warm up certain areas. It depends, you got to look at the person. The one thing that's really important in color is to find a key color. And this usually, works for me. And there is a certain logic to it, and I'm sure people are going to write me letters. You're wrong. I'm a painter, and I'm like, okay, you're right. You're the best. But you guys are asking for an absolute answer, and that's what you need when you start teaching. If you're in a green room, the green is going to bounce into you. The light's going to bounce off the walls, and it's going to go into you. So take a glob of the green, that's your key color, and stick it in the corner of your palette. And every time you go to paint anything, just dip your brush in there. So even if it's, the red of the cheeks, put just a little tiny bit of green in there, and that will tie your painting together. And I like to call that key in a painting. Okay? So why don't we do that? The other thing is saturation. Man, that is so important. So we know that the value is important. Okay? So you got the value right. And you're looking at that background. You go, I got a value number 2.25 on that background mountain. And it looks so good. And it's all pushed back. And it's a cool gray. And I know that cools go back. And I'm so happy. And then you put down this really pretty blue. And all of a sudden you lose your depth of field. You go, whoa, this was not in the deal here. What's going on? And the problem is that blue that you put down may have a huge saturation. That means the chroma that you talked about, that color, is really strong. And notice here I go 1, 2, 3, long, 1, 2, 3. That keeps it from having that hairy line, which was your question a little bit before. Okay, so the saturation, getting back to color, and now you can see why I have so many multiple careers, because I can multi-process. The color is completely saturated, and it's really strong, and that chroma is coming back at you. So what you need to do is add the complement, or that key, if you're adding green to it, it's going to push it back, but add a little black, kill the hue, and what will kill the chroma or the hue will be the complement or black. So if you're having trouble with it, put some black in there. The hell with it, Oh, we don't use black. Sargent did, Just if you want to do black, and you want it to be pure, add some of that green inside the black. They won't see it, but they'll feel it. Okay? Now again, you're going to get people out there who are, I'm a painter and I know. Well, that's good. That's great. I'm making a living and this is what I'm doing. Okay? So that's your answer on the color. Hopefully that works. This is fun. I'm not doing a lot of cuts. Oh, I still want to address, if he could, but I appreciate the helps. Appearance of muddiness in my flesh tones. Temperature. I figured that I should use a cooler color for halftones rather than slightly darker shades of the same color, which tends to look muddy. And I'm aware that a warm light source usually makes cool shadows and vice versa, but they never look quite right, even when I try to copy the photos. Okay, first of all, you don't copy anything, okay? So if you really want to look for observation, you got to get out into life. The photos, they kind of mess up, so you really want to be thinking about keying the image, okay? The reason why your color is muddy is that you probably are working with a dirty brush and you got some of the complement in there. Like let's say, you got a purple and then you start working with a green. Well, they don't like each other. So you're going to get some really muddy stuff. Also, mud comes from when you got 3 primaries coming together. So take a look. Maybe you're mixing that and you're getting this real muddy gray. Let's see what else is going to get you muddy. The greatest book ever is, the book by Schmidt. And he says there's no such thing as bad color, just bad temperature. So, take a look at the temperature. And I know you're talking about that, but halftones aren't necessarily warm, and they're not necessarily cool. If you want to bring something closer to you, you might warm it up a little bit, and then you might cool it back a little bit, and then warm it up a little bit. If you've got a halftone like here, really subtle, and you want to bring it back just slightly, but it's the same exact value. because we're only working with 5 values, 10 values. Just cool it just a little bit. You can not even see it, but you'll feel it, okay? So muddy, generally it was going to come from, not being consistent in your formula of the color, which means I've got a purple room, and you're putting all this green in there, and you're getting the purple in with the green, it's going to get muddy. That's what it is. So that should do it. And then the next step will be, of course, for me to get a palette and show it to you. But right now we're kind of answering the questions. Okay? So see how this drawing's just building up? It's really fun. Let's see, what else do we have? I think we're doing pretty good. Core fundamentals of animation. Man, that's a lot. That's like a whole course. Drawing classes, we went over that. We went over clean line. Pen and ink drawings look hairy. Just don't make them hairy. Just, draw over the same line. Do you need to go to college? Yes. Medical career. There's a couple colleges out there. Look into them. But get a good drawing teacher first, okay? You can learn your drawing on our school. It'll be fine for you. Through my books, how much time? 6 months to really getting started, and then 2 years to get really good. And then how to keep yourself focused. Just love it and quit worrying about it. You're thinking too much, okay? Just do it. And don't be afraid to fail. And, if somebody walks up to you and they say, God, that is the ugliest drawing I've ever seen in my life, just look at them seriously in the face and say, sorry, dude. It's your girlfriend. All right, send in some more questions, okay? This is really fun. I'll get this over to Corey. He'll get it up online. And the school is on its way. So let us know that you're interested. It's going to be very thorough. And it's going to be very honest. And it's going to be very loving. Okay? Because that's what I want. All right. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate all the video, all the comments. And even the insulting ones are cute. And we love them. And you guys are great. And I'm sorry you're so far away. But send us an email. Let us know how you're doing. Have a good one, everybody. I'll see you on the next round.